Hey everyone, Carol here. I just wanted to show you something I did last night, making a protector for my all-in-one fine gauge limited edition. I know I said that backwards, but you get the idea. I go back and forth a lot, and I always like to have something with me to do, some kind of arts and crafts. And I really like this, but like I said, these are very small. They're like an eighth of an inch thick, and so I want to protect it. And I have this bag here that I got from KB Looms, although when it was authentic knitting board. It's a canvas bag. It's got a drawstring here, and it's a good 3 feet long. This round bottom, and so it can hold a lot of looms and yarn and stuff like that. I want to get another one, but they don't seem to have it. But I'm thinking, even if I did put my loom in there, it would get all tangled up. So last night I took out a piece of my what's this stuff called? Skirting leather. It's vegetable tanned tooling skirting leather, and if you look at that, that's a good 1/4 of an inch thick. And so what it did is I took the stencil that I've had for years. What I do with that? Let's see. Took this stencil, and the leather was wet. When working with this leather, you wet it. You totally wet it. And I'm sorry for the view, but it says you totally wet the leather. And after the water soaks in somewhat, then you start working on it. And so what I did is I wet it, and then with leather scissors, I cut the bottom here. So it dries in this shape. When you're using tooling leather, once it dries, it's pretty close in there. But it was a flat piece of leather. I used the box. This is the box that the knitting board comes in. And so I put the box on the leather. I'm sorry for the camera. I'm trying to do this without my hands. What I did is I put the box on the leather, and I circled around it all the way around, and I left it high. It was a good piece to start with, and so this is a little higher than I need, but I figured no problem. So all I did is I cut off the corners here. It was not easy, but after a lot of gouging and eventually I did it. And then because it was still wet, now see, I have to re-wet that again. I did not sew it because, well, to get a needle through this thickness of leather, to say the least, it's quite hard. What you've got to do is take a thonging chisel and really whack it in there and make the hole in. Use with 2 needles and I use 6-strand cotton wax thread, and I would make the holes here on both sides, and then just saddle stitch the whole thing. But I didn't really have the time, and I'm thinking, you know what, if need be, and I pushed it closed like this, so it's kind of if you look at it this way, and it can stand up. And to have this much leather, right? This is a big piece here. It's made for tooling, and to have all this leather and not tool something on it would be a total waste. So I had this little butterfly here, and I decided, why not? Here, I'll show you what to do. I have the scrap. Let's do that in a second. Hold on. There it is. Okay. This little piece of leather here that was the corner. It's one of the corners. Hold on. So what you're going to do is I take the leather and totally put it in the water. Now, because it is so thick, usually what I'll do is I'll hold it underwater till the bubbles stop. Is it making bubbles? I could feel it. I don't know if it shows or not, but I could feel the bubbles. Anyway. Okay, and see already, the water just seeps right in, even on the back. So you're going to be tooling the front piece here, the smooth side. And usually what I would use is my matters and engravers. I could show you. 1 second. To do, if I had the time and there weren't people around that would complain that I'm making too much noise, then yes, I would give it a shot. This is just a couple of my tools that I've used. But, like I said, didn't really have the whole time for that. So, what I did instead is, hold on. I'm sorry, I really tried to be organized, but small table, and I'll use my phone as a camera, so, okay. I bought this at Michael's. But this too also is, it's an embossing tool, and this is made for embossing. This tool's made for embossing, but it was a butterfly, and I liked it, so I bought it. So all you're gonna do is put the butterfly or any stencil you have, hold it really good, and I use the small side first, and just gonna trace in there. Trying to get as many of the holes you can. Now, some of the smaller ones I couldn't get into, so you do what you can. It's my case. I just, to decorate it, and as I said, to have a piece of leather this big and not do some kind of design on it, it's a total waste. This is tooling leather. Got a tool. Have to. So I'm just coloring it in, going to all the spaces that I can, making sure that you don't move the stencil. And this is kind of cheating, I know, but I don't care. It says I wanted something fast and easy. And I bought this thing years ago. I never used it. Didn't really have a, I liked it. I bought it because I liked it. And it just sat in my box. And I saw it last night. And I says, that'll work just fine. Now, the problem with this is you got to kind of keep track of what you're doing, because to lift it up to see what you're doing, it's very hard to put it back right where you left off. So you can get like a double cast. So I'm trying to go in order which I see the holes, so I won't have that problem. Okay, I believe, okay, you know what? Do this too. Now I can go back with my tool, a different tool, and I can go over these. I can go a little deeper with it. Once I get the image on, then this leather, it works really nice. If you've ever looked at a coin and see the portrait that's done on a tiny little width of the coin, and how detailed they get, and how the depth they get on just even like a dime, the portraits that they do on a dime. I said, this is leather, and there's a 1/4 inch thick. What you can do with this, if you have the time and the tools, you get some great depth with this. So right now, like I said, I'm just quickly tracing this. I'm doing it on here because I figured it'd be easier to see than if I tried to do another butterfly on the case. Then I have to wet the case all over again. And when you wet leather, it's best to wet this type of leather, this tooling leather. When you wet it, it's best that you wet the whole thing, because if you don't, then there's going to be like, well, a watermark, I guess you'd call it. And so I figured, you know what, let me try it on a scrap. Well, it says I got this at Michael's many years ago. I'm sure they probably have something like it still. Okay, I think I got it all. I know the antlers, or the antenna, excuse me. The antennas are not going to, although I can do. Let's press that on there. I noticed last night when I did it on the case, that it had quite a slight little impression. Okay. Not bad. And I guess I'll just... So that's the same thing that I did here. And what I did after is I took this. Where'd it go? Right here. My spoon. No, the light in here is not the greatest, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. But you get the idea. I'll just go around, I'll do the whole thing like that and make it just a little deeper. But like I said, this is my case. I put 3 butterflies on it. And what I do when I travel tonight, I just put this, I'll take it, put it sideways like this first. Hold on. Let's see that. Hold on. I guess I'm sorry for the angle of the phone. I cannot seem to make it stand up. I'll put it in and turn it upside down. Pig side going down. Now I'm not going to have everything, because I like this as a double knitter. I'm not a huge fan of single knit. I find it takes a real long time and it's a lot harder. I like this, double knit. And I believe I could put the other things in here. Let me see. Hold on. So it also comes with this. These are the sliders. Let's just check out and see. And I got 2 extra pegs and the 2 longer bolts. And then what I'll do is I'll wrap this around like that. And then I'll put it in my bag. So yeah, I guess it does fit everything. Cause I used the box that it came in for a pattern. And it's in there pretty tight. See? And nice strong leather. And I feel confident that I can go into the car, bus, train, whatever. And now I will wrap it in something. I'm not gonna just, I'll put it in a bag, but this will, the needles are down here. They are safer, at least, than they would be if I just threw it in a bag. Anyway, again, sorry for the camera. I hope you all have a good day and happy looming.